Extremely sorry, bro. I'll just continue. The great says Narada overheard this news and understanding all the activities of Dhruva Maharaj, he was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruva and touching the boy's head with all a virtuous hand, he spoke as follows. How wonderful are the powerful Kshatriyas! They cannot tolerate even a slight infringement upon their prestige. Just imagine, this boy is only a small child, yet harsh words from his stepmother proved unbearable to him. Text 27. The great says Narada told Dhruva, my dear boy, you are only a little boy whose attachment is to sports and other frivolities. Why are you so affected by words insulting your honor? Text 28. My dear Dhruva, if you feel that your sense of honor has been insulted, you still have no cause for dissatisfaction. This kind of dissatisfaction is another feature of the illusory energy. Every living entity is controlled by his previous actions, and therefore there are different varieties of life for enjoying or suffering. The process of the supreme personality of Godhead is very wonderful. One who is intelligent should accept that process and be satisfied with whatsoever comes favorable or unfavorable by his supreme will. Text 30. Now you have decided to undertake my mystic process of meditation under the yeah, under the instructions of a mother, just to achieve the mercy of the Lord. But in my opinion, such austerities are not possible for an ordinary man. It is very difficult to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 31. Narad Muni continued, after trying to process for many, many births and remaining unattached to material contamination, placing themselves continually in trance and executing many types of austerities, many mystic yogis were unable to find the end of the path of God realization. Text 32. For this reason, my dear boy, you should not endeavor for this. It will not be successful. It is better that you go home when you are grown up by the mercy of the Lord. You'll get a chance of these mystic performances. At that time, you may execute this function. Text 33. One should try to keep himself satisfied in any condition of life, whether distress or happiness, which is offered by the Supreme Will. A person who endures in this way is able to cross the darkness of nations very easily. Text 34. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate towards him. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. And this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of the material world. Text 35. Dhruva Maharaj said, my dear Lord Naradji, for a person whose heart is disturbed by the material conditions of happiness and distress, whatever you have so kindly explained for attainment of peace and peace of mind is certainly a very good instruction. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm covered by ignorance, and this kind of philosophy does not touch my heart. Text 36. My dear Lord, I am very impudent for not accepting your instructions, but this is not my fault. It is due to my having been born in Kshatriya family. My stepmother Suruchi has pierced my heart with her harsh words. Therefore, your valuable instruction does not stand in my heart. Text 37. O learned Brahmana, I want to occupy a position more exalted than any yet achieved within the three worlds of by anyone, even by many my father and grandfather. If you will oblige, kindly advise me of an honest path to follow by which I can achieve the goal of my life. Text 38. My dear Lord, you are a worthy son of Lord Brahma, and you travel playing on your musical instrument, the veena, for the welfare of the entire universe. You are like the sun, which rotates in the universe for the benefits of all living beings. Text 39. The sage Maitreya continued. The great personality Narad Muni, upon hearing the words of Dhruva Maharaj, became very compassionate towards him, and in order to show him his causeless mercy, he gave him the following expert advice. Text 41. The great sage Narada told Dhruva Maharaj the instruction given by your mother Suniti to follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is just suitable for you. You should therefore completely absorb yourself in the devotional service of the Lord. Text 41. Any person who desires the fruits of the four principal religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and at the end liberation should engage himself in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for worship of his lotus feet yields the fulfillment of all this. हरे कृष्णा हिमांशु आप कंटिन्यू करेंगे क्या ये काफी लंबा जाएगा.
Yes, sir, I can continue.
82 है इसमें इसीलिए.
Yes, sir. Text 42. My dear boy, I therefore wish all good fortune for you. You should go to the bank of Yamuna where there is a virtuous forest named Madhavan and there be purified. Just by going there, one draws nearer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead who always lives there. Narad Muni instructed, my dear boy, in the waters of Yamuna river, which is
ब्रो
known as
आपकी आवाज हल्की सी
Kalindi,
ब्लर हो रही है। एक बार चेक करेंगे, शायद मेरा ईयरफोन भी खराब हो सकता है, लेकिन ब्लर हो रही है।
अभी क्लियर आ रहा है?
मुझे तो ऐसे ही आ रहा है। कोई और कंफर्म कर सकते हैं, लाइक शुभम प्रो या सौरभ प्रो?
एको हो रहा है, आई गेस।
अच्छा,
एको टाइप हो रहा है।
ब्लर हो रहा है ब्रो।
तो रीजॉइन कर लीजिए।
अभी ठीक आ रहा है प्रभु जी?
बढ़िया, एकदम परफेक्ट, बढ़िया ब्रो।
जी। Narad Muni instructed, my dear bro. My dear boy, in the waters of Yamuna river, which is also known as Kalindi, you should take 3 baths daily because the water is very auspicious, sacred and clear. After bathing, you should perform the necessary regulative principles for Ashtanga Yoga and then sit down on your asana in a calm and quiet position. After sitting on your seat, practice the 3 kinds of breathing exercises and thus gradually control the life air, the mind, and the senses. Completely free yourself from all material contamination and with great patience begin to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 45. The form of the Lord is described herein. The Lord's face is perpetually very beautiful and pleasing in attitude. To the devotees who see him, he appears never to be displeased and he is always prepared to award benedictions to him. His eyes, his nicely decorated eyebrows, his raised nose, and his broad forehead are all very beautiful. He is more beautiful than all the demigods. 46. Narada Muni continued, the Lord's form is always youthful. Every limb and every part of his body is properly formed, free from defect. His eyes and lips are pinkish, like the rising sun. He is always prepared to give shelter to the surrendered soul, and anyone so fortunate as to look upon him feels all satisfaction. The Lord is always worthy to be the master of the surrendered soul, for he is the ocean of mercy. 47. The Lord is further described as having the mark of Srivastha, or the sitting place of the goddess of fortune. His body's hue is deep bluish. The Lord is a person. He wears a garland of flowers, and he is eternally manifest with 4 hands which hold, beginning from the lower left hand, a conch shell, wheel, club, and lotus flower. 48. The entire body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, is decorated. He wears a valuable jeweled helmet, necklaces, and bracelet. His neck is adorned with the Kaustuba jewel, and he is dressed in yellow silk garments. 49. The Lord is decorated with small golden bells around his waist, and his lotus feet are decorated with small ankle bells. All his bodily features are very attractive and pleasing to the eyes. He is always peaceful, calm, and quiet, and very pleasing to the eyes and the mind. Real yogis meditate upon the transcendental form of the Lord as he stands on the whorl of the lotus of their hearts, like the jewel-like nails of his lotus feet glittering. 51. The Lord is always smiling, and the devotee should constantly see the Lord in this form, as he looks very mercifully towards the devotee. In this way, the meditator should look towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the bestower of all benedictions. 52. One who meditates in this way, concentrating his mind upon the always auspicious form of the Lord, is very soon freed from all material contamination, and he does not come down from meditation upon the Lord. 53. O son of the king, now I shall speak unto the O son of the king, I shall Krishna Roji, someone can continue. I am getting a call from 53. I can read the next chapter.
हरे कृष्णा। सौरभ तो आप पढ़िए। हरे कृष्णा।
ऑडिबल? हाँ, सुन पा रहे हैं ना?
ऑडिबल।
Okay. O son of the king, now I shall speak unto you the mantra which is to be chanted with this process of meditation. One who carefully chants this mantra for 7 nights can see the perfect human beings flying in the sky. Text 54. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is the 12th syllable mantra for worshipping Lord Krishna. One should install the physical forms of the Lord, and with the chanting of the mantra, one should offer flowers and fruits and other varieties of foodstuffs exactly according to the rules and regulations prescribed by authorities. But this should be done in consideration of place, time, and attendant conveniences and inconveniences. Text 55. One should worship the Lord by offering pure water, pure flower garlands, fruits, flowers, and vegetables which are available in the forest, or by collecting newly grown grasses, small buds of flowers, or even the skins of trees, and if possible by offering tulsi leaves, which are very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 56. It is possible to worship a form of the Lord made of physical elements such as earth, water, pulp, wood, and metal. In the forest, one can make a form with no more than earth and water and worship him according to the above principles. A devotee who has full control over his self should be very sober and peaceful and must be satisfied simply with eating whatever fruits and vegetables are available in the forest. Text 57. My dear Dhruv, besides worshipping the deity and chanting the mantra 3 times a day, you should meditate upon the transcendental activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different incarnations as exhibited by his supreme will and personal potencies. Text 58. One should follow in the footsteps of previous devotees regarding how to worship the Supreme Lord with the prescribed paraphernalia, one should offer worship within the heart by reciting the mantra of the personality of Godhead who is non different from the mantra. Text 59 and 60. Anyone who thus engages in the devotional service of the Lord seriously and sincerely with his mind, words, and body, and who is fixed in the activities of the prescribed devotional methods, is blessed by the Lord according to his desire. If a devotee desires material religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation from the material world, he is awarded with these results. Text 61. If one is very serious about liberation, he must stick to the process of transcendental loving service, engaging 24 hours a day in the highest stage of ecstasy, and he must certainly be aloof from all activities of sense gratification. Text 62. When Dhruv Maharaj, the son of the king, was thus advised by the great sage Narada, he circumambulated Narada, his spiritual master, and offered his respectful obeisances. Then he started for Madhuvan, which is always imprinted with the lotus footprints of Lord Krishna and which is therefore especially auspicious. Text 63. After Dhruv entered Madhuvan forest to execute devotional service, the great sage Narada thought it was thought it wise to go to the king to see how he was faring within the place. When Narad Muni the king received him properly, offering him due obeisances. After being seated comfortably, Narad began to speak. Text 64. The great sage Narad inquired, my dear king, your face appears to be withering up, and you look like you have been thinking of something for a very long time. What is that? Have you been hampered in following your path of religious rites, economic development, and sense gratification? Text 65. The king replied, O best of the Brahmanas, I am very much addicted to my wife, and I am so fallen that I have abandoned all merciful behavior. Even to my son, who is only 5 years old, I have banished him and his mother, even though he is a great soul and a great devotee. Text 66. My dear Brahmana, the face of my son was just like a lotus flower. I am thinking of his precarious condition. He is unprotected and he might be very hungry. He might have lain down somewhere in the forest and the wolves might have attacked him to eat his body. 67. Alas, just see how I was conquered by my wife. Just imagine my cruelty. Out of love and affection, the boy was trying to get up on my lap, but I did not receive him, nor did I even pat him for a moment. Just imagine how hard-hearted I am. Text 68. The great says Narad replied, my dear king, please do not be aggrieved about your son. He is well protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although you have no actual information of his influence, his reputation is already spread all over the world. Text 69. My dear king, your son is very competent. He will perform activities which would be impossible even for great kings and sages. Very soon he will complete his task and come back home. You should know that he will also spread your reputation all over the world. Text 70. The great Maitreya continued. The king Uttanapad, after being advised by Narad Muni, practically gave up all duties in relation with his kingdom, which was very vast and wide, opulent like the goddess of fortune, and he simply began to think of his son Dhruv. Text 71. Elsewhere, Dhruv Maharaj, having arrived at Madhuvan, took his bath in the river Yamuna and observed fasting in the night with great care and attention. After that, as advised by the great sage Narad, he engaged himself in the worshipping the Supreme Personality of God. Text 72. For the first month, Dhruv Maharaj ate only fruits and berries on every third day, only to keep his body and soul together, and this way he progressed in his worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the second month, Dhruv Maharaj ate only every 6 days, and for his edibles he took dry grass and leaves. Thus he continued his worship. Text 73. In second month, Dhruv Maharaj ate. Actually, clear nahi aa raha screen. Just a minute. Yes. Text 74. In the third month, he drank water only every 9 days. Thus he remained completely in trance and worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is adored by selected verses. Text 75. In the fourth month, Dhruv Maharaj became a complete master of the breathing exercise, and thus he inhaled air only every 12th day. In this way, he became completely fixed in his position and worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 76. By the fifth month, Maharaj Dhruv, the son of the king, had controlled his breathing so perfectly that he was able to stand on only one leg, just as a column stands, without motion, and concentrate his mind fully on the Parabrahma. 77. He completely controlled his senses and their objects, and this way he fixed his mind, without diversion to anything else, upon the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 78. When Dhruv Maharaj thus captured the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is a refuge of the total material creation and who is the master of all living entities, the three worlds began to tremble. Text 79. As Dhruv Maharaj, the king's son, kept himself steadily standing on one leg, the pressure of his big toe pushed down half the earth, just as an elephant being carried on a boat rocks the boat left and right with his every step. 80. When Dhruv Maharaj became practically one in heaviness with Lord Vishnu, the total consciousness due to his fully concentrating and his closing all the holes of his body, that total universal breathing became choked up, and all the great demigods in all planetary systems felt suffocated and thus took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 81. The demigod said, Dear Lord, you are the refuge of all moving and non-moving living entities. We feel all living entities to be suffocating, their breathing process choked up. We have never experienced such a thing. Since you are the ultimate shelter of all surrendered souls, we have therefore approached you. Kindly save us from this danger. 82. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, My dear demigods, do not be perturbed by this. It is due to the severe austerity and full determination of the son of King Uttanapad, who is now fully absorbed in thoughts of me. He has obstructed the universal breathing process. You can safely return to your respective homes. I shall stop this boy in his severe acts of austerities, and you will be saved from this situation. Okay, Sambit Prabhu, you can continue.
कैसे करें? अभी हमारे पास 14 मिनट है और ये चैप्टर तो
पढ़ लेते हैं प्रभु जी, मैं पढ़ता हूँ, हो जाएगा।
अच्छा, देखिए आराम से पढ़िए, ऐसा नहीं आधा भी पढ़ लेगा तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
नहीं प्रभु, हो जाएगा, 15 मिनट है, हो जाएगा। ठीक है, पढ़ता हूँ। Chapter 9. Dhruva Maharaj returns home. Text 1. The great sage Maitreya told Vidura, when the demigods were thus reassured by the personality of Godhead, they were freed from all fears, and after offering their obeisances, they returned to their heavenly planets. Then the Lord, who is non-different from the Sahasrashira, incarnation, got on the back of Garuda, who carried him to the Madhuvan forest to see his servant Dhruva. Text 2. The form of the Lord, which was brilliant like lightning, and in which Dhruva Maharaj, in his matured yogic process, was fully absorbed in meditation, all of a sudden disappeared. Thus, Dhruva was perturbed and his meditation broke. But as soon as he opened his eye, he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead personally present, just as he had been seeing the Lord in his heart. Text 3. When Dhruva Maharaj saw his Lord just in front of him, he was greatly agitated and offered him obeisances and respect. He fell flat before him like a rod and became absorbed in the love of Godhead. Dhruva Maharaj in ecstasy looked upon the Lord as if he were drinking the Lord with his eyes, kissing the lotus feet of the Lord with his mouth, and embracing the Lord with his arms. Although Dhruva Maharaj was a small boy, he wanted to offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in suitable language, but because he was inexperienced, he could not adjust himself immediately. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being situated in everyone's heart, could understand Dhruva Maharaj's awkward position. Out of his causeless mercy, he touched his conch shell to the forehead of Dhruva Maharaj, who stood before him with folded hands. At that time, Dhruva Maharaj became perfectly aware of the Vedic conclusion and understood the absolute truth and his relationship with all living entities. In accordance with the line of devotional service to the Supreme Lord, whose fame is widespread, Dhruva, who in the future would receive a planet which would never be annihilated even during the time of dissolution, offered his deliberate and conclusive prayer. Dhruva Maharaj said, "My dear Lord, you are all powerful. You are entering within me. After entering within me, you have enlivened all my sleeping senses, my hands, legs, ears, touch sensation, life force, and especially my power of speech. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My Lord, you are the Supreme One, but by your different energies, you appear differently in the spiritual and material worlds. You create the total energy of the material world by your external potency, and after creation, you enter within the material world as the super soul. You are the Supreme Person, and through the temporary modes of material nature, you create varieties of manifestation. Just as fire entering into woods of different shapes burns brilliantly in different varieties. O my master, Lord Brahma is fully surrendered unto you. In the beginning, you gave him knowledge, and thus he could see and understand the entire universe. Just as a person awakens from sleep and visualizes his immediate duties, you are the only shelter of all persons who desires liberation, and you are the friend of all who are distressed. How, therefore, can a learned person who has perfect knowledge even forget you? 9. Persons who worship you simply for the sense gratification of this bag of skin are certainly influenced by your illusory energy. In spite of having you, who are like a desired tree and are the cause of liberation from birth and death, foolish persons such as me desires benediction from you for sense gratification, which is available even for those who live in hellish conditions. My Lord, bliss derived from meditating upon your lotus feet or hearing about your glories from pure devotees is so unlimited that it is far beyond the stage of Brahmananda, wherein one thinks himself merged in the impersonal Brahman as one with the Supreme. Since Brahmananda is also defeated by the transcendental bliss derived from devotional service, then what to speak of the temporary blissfulness of elevating oneself to the heavenly planets, which is entered by the separating sword of time? Although one may be elevated to the heavenly planets, he falls down in due course of time. Dhruva Maharaj continued, O unlimited Lord, kindly bless me so that I may associate with the great devotees who engage in your transcendental loving service constantly, as the waves of a river constantly flow. Such transcendental devotees are completely situated in an uncontaminated state of life. By the process of devotional service, I shall surely be able to cross the nascent ocean of material existence, which is filled with the waves of blazing fire-like dangers. It will be very easy for me, for I am becoming mad to hear about your transcendental qualities and pastimes, which are eternally existent. O Lord, who have a lotus navel, if a person happens to associate with a devotee whose heart always hankers after your lotus feet, seeking always their fragrance, he is never attached to the material world or material body or in a bodily relationship to offspring, friends, home, wealth, and wife, which are very, very, very dear to materialistic persons. Indeed, he does not care for them. My dear Lord, O Supreme Unborn, I know that the different varieties of living entities, such as animals, trees, birds, reptiles, demigods, and human beings, are spread throughout the universe, which is caused by the total material energy. And I know that they are sometimes manifest and sometimes unmanifest. But I have never experienced the supreme form I behold as I see you now. Now all kinds of methods of theorizing have come to an end. My dear Lord, at the end of each millennium, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Garbhodakshai, Vishnu, dissolves everything manifested within the universe into his belly. He lies down on the lap of Sheshnags, and from his navel sprouts a golden lotus flower on a stem, and on that lotus Lord Brahma is created. I can understand that you are the same Supreme Godhead. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My Lord, by your unbroken transcendental glance, you are the supreme witness of all the stages of intellectual activities. You are eternally liberated. Your existence is situated in pure goodness, and you are existent in the super soul without change. You are the original personality of Godhead, full with six opulences, and you are eternally the master of three modes of material nature. Thus, you are always different from the ordinary living entities. As Lord Vishnu, you maintain all the affairs of the entire universe, and yet you stand aloof and are the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. Samgita, you can read. Actually, the translations are very big. I don't think so we'll be able to complete it. So you can read it from now. Translation बहुत बड़ा है इसका, खत्म नहीं होगा रोजी.
नहीं, हम आराम से करेंगे. एक्चुअली हमको पढ़ना ज्यादा मोटिव है. कितना चैप्टर खत्म हुआ वो मोटिव नहीं
नहीं
है.
बरो, इसलिए बोलो संबित लोग पढ़ लेते हैं, इसलिए सब वो पढ़ ले तो अच्छा रहेगा. क्योंकि अभी 7 to 8 मिनट्स है तो पढ़ लेते हैं, वो पढ़ सकते हैं.
बिजी हैं वो तो हम लोग कर नहीं रहे हैं. शुभम तो आप पढ़िए. अभी वो संबित को शुभम को कोई तो जवाब
Yes, so Prabhu
शुभम
is
तो आप पढ़िए.
unmuted himself. You'll read.
Text 16, my dear Lord, in your impersonal manifestation of Brahman, there are always two opposing elements, knowledge and ignorance. Your multi-energies are continually manifest, but the impersonal Brahman, which is undivided, original, changeless, unlimited, and blissful, is the cause of the material manifestation. Because you are the same impersonal Brahman, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 17, my Lord, O Supreme Lord, you are the supreme personified form of all benediction. Therefore, for one who abides in your devotional service with no other desire, perceiving your lotus feet is better than becoming king. Therefore, for one who abides in your devotional service with no other desire, worshipping your lotus feet is better than becoming king and lording it over a kingdom. That is the benediction of worshipping your lotus feet. To ignorant devotees like me, you are the causeless, merciful maintainer, just like a cow who takes care of the newly born calf by supplying milk and giving it protection from attack. Text 18. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, when Dhruv Maharaj, who had good intentions in his heart, finished his prayer, the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees and servants, congratulated him, speaking as follows. Text 19. The personality of Godhead said, my dear Dhruva, son of the king, you have executed pious vows, and I also know the desire within your heart. Although your desire is very ambitious and very difficult to fulfill, I shall favor you with its fulfillment. All good fortune unto you. Texts 20 and 21. The Supreme Personality of Godhead continued, my dear Dhruva, I shall award you the glowing planet known as the pole star, which will continue to exist even after the dissolution at the end of the millennium. No one has ever ruled this planet, which is surrounded by all the solar systems, planets, and stars. All the luminaries in the sky circumambulate this planet just as bulls treat around a central pole for the purpose of crushing grains, keeping the pole star to their right. All the stars inhabited by the great sages like Dharma, Agni, Kasyap, and Sukra circumambulate this planet, which continues to exist even after the dissolution of all other. Text 22. After your father goes to the forest and awards to the rule of his kingdom. He will rule continuously the entire world for 36,000 years, and all your senses will continue to be as strong as they are now. You will never become old. Text 23. The Lord continued. Sometimes in the future, your brother Uttama will go hunting in the forest, and while absorbed in hunting, he will be killed. Your stepmother Surushi, being maddened upon the death of her son, will go to search him out in the forest, but she will be devoured by the forest fire. Text 24. The Lord continued, I am the heart of all sacrifices. You will be able to perform many great sacrifices and also give great charities. In this way, you will be able to enjoy the blessings of material happiness in this life. And at the time of your death, you will be able to remember me. Text 25. The personality of Godhead continued. My dear Dhruva, after your material life in this body, you will go to my planet, which is always offered obeisances by the residents of all other planetary systems. It is situated above the planets of the seven rishis, and having gone there, you will never have to come back again to this material world. Text 26. The great sage Maitreya said, after being perceived and honored by the boy Dhruva Maharaj, and after offering him his award, Lord Vishnu on the back of Garuda returned to his abode as Dhruva Maharaj looked on. Text 27. Despite having achieved the desired result of his determination by perceiving the lotus feet of the Lord, Dhruva Maharaj was not very pleased. Thus he returned to his home. Text 28. Sri Vidura inquired, my dear Brahmana, the award of the Lord is very difficult to attain. It can be attained only by pure devotional service, which alone pleases the most affectionate, merciful Lord. Dhruv Maharaj achieved this position even in one life, and he was very wise and conscious and conscious. Uh, conscious. Why
Unconscious.
then? जी, why then was he not very pleased? Text 29. Maitri answered, Dhruv Maharaj's heart, which was pierced by the arrows of the harsh words of his stepmother, was greatly aggrieved, and thus when he fixed upon his goal of life, he did not forget her misbehavior. He didn't demand actual liberation from this material world, but at the end of his devotional service, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared before him, he was simply ashamed of the material demands he had in his mind. Taxati Dhruv Maharaj thought to himself, to endeavor to be situated in the shade of the lotus feet of the Lord is not an ordinary task, because even the great brahmacharis headed by Sanandana, who practice Ashtanga Yoga in France, attain the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet only after many, many births. Within 6 months, I achieved the same result. Yet, due to my thinking differently from the Lord, I fell down from my position.
हरे कृष्णा। प्रभु जी एक्चुअली ये लंबा चलेगा, हम एक काम करेंगे 31 से कल से पढ़ेंगे। और तुकाराम प्रभु जी एक्चुअली पहले 4 बजे वाली आरती में जाते थे सेवा करने, अभी वो 6 बजे वाली आरती में जाते हैं, संध्या आरती में जाते हैं, तो उनको आने में 10 मिनट 15 मिनट लग सकता है। तो उनका ये आदेश था कि हम शुरू करें, फिर वो आके ज्वाइन करेंगे। तो एक बार शुरू करते हैं।